touch my drums, I will stab you in the neck with a knife.
You know, some iPhone enthusiasts may hate me for using this analogy, but I'm going to use it anyway. If you were to say Assassin's Creed is like the first iPhone, then Assassin's Creed 2 jumped all the way over to the iPhone 6, where every installment afterwards would be based on that architecture, but with more and better features added on over time. That's how much better it is. This is the game Ubisoft really wanted to make. Smoother free running, expanded combat mechanics, better protagonist, bigger world, this time set in the 15th century Italy, and a great story. Seriously, coming from playing the first game to this in such a short amount of time, I cannot stress to you enough how much better Assassin's Creed 2 is than the first game. But I'm gonna try. Options, customization, progression. These themes are what I believe are mostly responsible for the success of this game. That and the fact that even the process in completing each objective was in itself fun and exciting. That's the beauty of an Assassin's Creed game though. Even menial side missions that would just drive you crazy in any other game, looking at you escort missions, are a blast because just from going from point A to point B is in itself an engaging obstacle course. But before we go any further, let's get this out of the way. I am playing the remastered Ezio collection for the PS4 for this video and the next video as well. Think of it of like killing 3 eagles with 1 stone. So let's get the most controversial point of this HD port out of the way. The lighting does seem off, and sometimes the character models are frightening at times. How could this have happened? I mean, how could have someone looked at this and went, "Oh yeah, this is superb. Let's move forward with this, Johnson." Ugh. Well, they had the last laugh, I guess, because I still bought the damn thing because I'm stupid.
You're an idiot. That's right. I'm a fucking idiot.
Anyway, while this isn't the best HD remake graphics-wise, the gameplay was thankfully left relatively unchanged. I was actually kind of surprised how familiar this game feels to the more modern games. Free running is so much smoother and more streamlined, which is great, but with speed comes overconfidence in your abilities. Not only is the free running improved, but it was also expanded upon with the addition of new climbing techniques that made synchronizing all of those viewpoints around the map much less of a chore. And speaking of chores, missions are much more diverse, which fixes one of the main criticisms of the original, which was missions lacking variety and substance. You still have those kinds of tedious quests, but they're now optional and mainly useful for monetary gain, which we'll talk about here in a second. Combat and assassinations were improved as well. It's basically the same as it was in the first game, where you hold on to the right trigger for dear life and press the counter button right at the right moment to trigger those awesome little cutscenes. Seriously, these never get old. They also created new inventive ways to make the hidden blade even more of a force to be reckoned with. What's better than a hidden blade? 2 of them! Double assassinations, ledge assassinations, assassinations from a bale of hay, assassinations from the rooftops. You can even use your hidden blades as weapons in combat, and with superb timing, you can take out even the biggest of foes. They even added a frickin' gun. A gun! I also feel like Assassin's Creed 2 was the game that Ubisoft really started playing around with the idea of eventually turning it into a full-blown RPG, but they smartly started with baby steps. For example, the simple introduction of a monetary system created so many more options, like buying different weapons, armor, treasure maps, looting bodies, stealing. You can even invest in properties stationed at your home base, Montergenier, to earn continuous income whilst playing the game. You can even customize the color of your clothes if you're tired of looking like a monk with an unusually keen fashion sense. Yeah, look good. Look good here. Also changed was the way health works. It's no longer a regenerative health bar like the first game, but a medicine system where you have to stock up on medicines and use them when your health is running low. And as you progress through the campaign, you can decrease the damage dealt by buying better armor. While we're on the subject, oh boy, the frickin' Altair Black Armor. You remember Altair, the rather boring protagonist from the first game? This was his armor, and it is so frickin' badass. I don't know about you guys, but when I saw that, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna get that damn armor no matter what. But in order to get it, you had to go through a series of trials involving a whole lot of platforming, and these trials got more and more challenging as you go through them, but man, it is so worth it. These platforming sections are such a perfect example of how to reward the player through challenge, because that armor is not only the best in the game, but doesn't ever need to be repaired. See kids, this is what gaming was like back in the day, where we didn't have microtransactions to buy optional cool stuff. We actually had to work for it. Anyway, this was just one of many examples of Assassin's Creed 2 bringing in smart, creative ways to make the player feel like they're always working towards some sort of goal. Like collecting all of the 100 feathers scattered around Italy gets you a pretty awesome weapon and a cape, or finding all the codex pages to permanently increase bars of your health. But the ones that stuck with me the most were the glyph puzzles. If you need a reminder, at the end of the first game as Desmond, you were left with a pretty great cliffhanger. Who left all those mysterious writings on the walls, and what did they mean? Well, in this game, you have an opportunity to uncover the truth. Yeah, what is the truth? Well, the person responsible for all those clues from the first game was a person only known as Subject 16. He was the guy that Abstergo brought in before Desmond to find all of the pieces of Eden, those powerful ancient artifacts like the apple from the first game. But complications arose. As a result of spending too much time in the Animus, he began to lose his mind, but before he lost it completely, he left behind a trail of Abstergo's secrets, and man, these puzzles are great. Look, everybody loves a good conspiracy, right? Well, each puzzle is like going down one YouTube rabbit hole after another. Like World War II being entirely orchestrated by the Templars, multiple historical figures like Napoleon or George Washington possessing pieces of Eden. It just makes you feel like you're a detective on the verge of finding out something big, and when you get to the end...
Look out!
What the fuck?
Yeah, right. And by the way, does Subject 16 sound a little familiar to you guys?
They call me Subject 16. Listen, I don't have much time. There's something I have to show you.
If I join you, will you help me rescue my master?
Yeah, I'm a 90s kid. Anyway, this is such an ingenious way to show the player the influence the Templars had historically and still has in the modern day, instead of just some cutscene with some old dude saying, "Ha ha ha, you know we did such and cause you know what?" And finally, we can't discuss Assassin's Creed 2 without talking about the main protagonist. Ezio motherfucking
Watch your profanity.
Auditore, the best protagonist the series has ever had. I mean, he must be, because they made 2 sub-sequels featuring his journey in fighting the Templars, and we'll get to those in the next video. Nevertheless, he's exactly what you want in a main character. Charming, handsome, funny, and badass. I mean, even his walk oozes coolness. And his storyline had something the first game didn't. Motivation. In the first game, the only motivation you're given to continue the story is follow the orders of your teacher to go kill bad guys. There's no real emotional factors the players can relate to. In this game, however, it's the complete opposite. Ezio's relationship to his family is front and center, and the catalyst of his fight against the Templars is right when everything he loves gets violently taken away from him. Yeah, sure, it's a revenge tale. And it's a story told time and time again, but when it's told right, it's a very effective motivator.
Hello! My name is Inigo Montoya. You killed my father. Prepare to die!
And you can't have a good revenge tale without a believable villain. And Rodrigo Borgia is that villain. He's a great opposite to Ezio. Intelligent, conniving, driven. The real story of the Borgias is pretty interesting too, and the Medici's. Are those shows any good? Let me know in the comments section, I'd like to know. Anyway, bottom line is that this is such a great clash of characters that it couldn't be contained to just one game. So yeah, Assassin's Creed 2 obviously takes the lead in my little adventure to rank the best Creed game. It checks all of the boxes you need to have a legendary game. There's just so much fun stuff to do, the historical Italian setting is fantastic, the characters are written incredibly and portrayed by their actors superbly. The little backstory of the modern day fight between the Assassins and Templars is so much more interesting, with the whole idea of Desmond being quickly trained to be a full-fledged assassin via the Animus. And yeah, that ending was still shocking, which I'm not going to spoil for those who haven't played this game. Which, if you haven't, what are you doing? Go and play the damn game. Anyway, during my playthrough, I was just reminded of the first time I ever played this game, and I remember then telling myself, it can't get much better than this. Can it? Hey guys, if you like this video, please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet, check out some more of my videos, help the channel grow, give me some feedback in that comment section, but most importantly, have a great day.